You see, I find religion, I find it odd, this omnipresent figure who allows terrible things to happen in the world, like war, famine, so you think you can dance. I mean, to me, it just seems like nonsense. My dad says, well, it is nonsense, son, but they're still buying, it's supply and demand. Come on, it's a job that comes with a house. Comes with a house. You know, I know some people might get married for a house or might even get divorced for a house. And some people might become bankers. I mean, those bastards have got lots of houses recently, haven't they? But this was a job that came with a house. And what a house that was. I should explain this. My father was actually a mental vicar. I don't mean like Billy Graham or Mike Huckabee mental. I mean, he actually worked in a mental hospital. See, the thing is, in England, if you're mentally ill, what they actually do is they put you in a mental hospital. Whereas if you're mentally ill in the United States of America, they give you a show on the Fox News channel. Or if you're a real ball goose loony, they'll give you a seat in Congress. Or maybe governor of Alaska. Or possibly Texas. But anyway, so it was kind of an odd job. I mean, my poor father, he'd have people coming up to him and they'd say, oh, Reverend, I've had this wonderful conversation with God. And he'd have to say, well, on the outside world, I'd say that was wonderful. But in this mental hospital, I have to say, that's delusional. A little bit mental. But it was weird for me when we were growing up. I mean, I obviously had to live there, not as a patient. Well, after living in Hollywood for 3 years, I probably could go back as a patient now. But it was difficult, especially when I got to my teenage years and I started fancying girls and hoping that they wouldn't find the sight of me make them vomit. And I really liked this girl called Susie Bunker. And if you saw her, you'd want to bunk her too, sir. She was lovely. But she never once called me back. Or so I thought. Until one day I was going through the schoolyard. And there was this guy, Gary Mills, who always used to hang out with the girls. And to be a ladies' man, this was the 80s, you had to look like a cross between George Michael and Boy George, which is a sort of like a slightly lesser macho version of Adam Lambert and Johnny Weir. Anyway, he says, Conolly, do you live in a mental hospital? No, of course I don't live in a mental hospital. Who would say such a thing? You know, Susie Bunker. She says you gave her your phone number and when she called up, she got through to the mental hospital. Well, I was just actually so delighted that Susie Bunker had called me back. I've been keeping it secret for years and I was something like, yeah, I do, I live in a mental hospital. Well, I said, I don't live there. My dad lives there. I mean, he's not a patient, he's a priest. Look, it's a job that comes with a house. And eventually, out comes Susie Bunker. You're still thinking about her, aren't you? Yeah, don't. She was 15, sir. Please. She comes out and she says, David, so you do live in a mental hospital? Like, yeah. And your father is the priest in the mental hospital? Yeah. I'm sorry, David, this isn't going to work. Why? Because I live in a mental hospital. No, because I don't want to date the son of a priest. Which is weird, because he then went out with my brother for 6 months. But